you agree with Pete that he is a communist?
He's not a communist.
He's a socialist.
He said seize the means of production.
He's a socialist.
He is not a communist.
I'm not a socialist.
Part of this is that you guys don't ask enough questions, okay? Part of this is that the American people just aren't asking enough fucking questions. Because what do you mean we have no money for buses, for free buses, free at the point of service buses? Because they're actually not free because we already pay for them with our taxes. But we have money to spend $500 million a year at Alligator Alcatraz? Really? This wannabe pageant dance mom, which for some reason the wording on the hat, the lettering on the hat always gets bigger, is sitting there talking about how this can be a model going forward across the country. You guys are literally gonna have to make up criminals. We don't have enough people. And why do you wanna have these across the country? So the prison industrial complex can profit off of imprisoning people? Because, you know, it's a lot cheaper to make prisoners do slave labor than it is to actually pay people to do a job. And suddenly there's no questions about that. Where's the how they gonna pay for it brigade? You guys ever notice that? Whenever it comes to doing anything that would benefit you, I'm talking about you non-rich person. And I know this is hard for a lot of MAGA people to get because you are such bootlickers to the powerful that you are literally defending a tax bill that's going to give billionaires' children the ability to not pay an estate tax. So more welfare for rich people. Right, because Bill Gates' daughter or whatever the fuck needs to like not pay an estate tax. I want to know, how come there's never any discussion about this? There's never any how you're going to pay for it. So you want to put prisons that are going to cost $500 million all over the country that are only going to profit the prison industrial complex, and you have no questions. There's no questions from the right of like, hey, how are we going to pay for this? How are we going to pay for that? No, it only happens when someone like Zohran Mamdani says, hey, we should have free buses at the point of service. We should do a rent freeze. Then how are you going to pay for it? How are you going to pay for it? Pay for it. How are you going to pay for it? The only thing this bill does, besides giving tax cuts to the rich and corporations and exploding the deficit, of course, is giving $75 billion in funding to ICE, an 800% increase, and $67 billion to CBP, okay? How are you going to pay for it? How are you going to pay for it? 800% increase. That is a fuck ton of money. How come no one's like, how are you going to pay for it? This is the Democrats won't ask. Why don't other people? How are you going to pay for it? Right. The question of cost only comes up when it's for regular people. We're not going to get any of that discussion though, because not only does MAGA never ask that question, not just MAGA, so many people in this country have been so conditioned and brainwashed to be unwitting cogs in the machine of defending the billionaire and the ruling class at the expense of their livelihoods that they won't even question it. They won't even say, hey, how are we going to pay for that military industrial complex? How are we going to pay for that new package of billions of dollars we just gave to the Israeli regime? How are we going to pay for Alligator Alcatraz? Nope, nobody asking that. You're only willing to ask that question when it comes to helping regular people, including yourself. And the Democrats are not prepared to push back against this because when they should be doing that, you've got clowns on CNN having stupid-ass arguments about non-existent socialism. This argument about is he a communist, is he not a communist, about Zohran on CNN is a ridiculous argument, and any Democrat engaging in it is embarrassing. You should be shutting them down immediately. This idea that we're having arguments over non-existent communism in the country and freaking out over a theoretical seizing the means of production that isn't happening, rather than focusing on what is actually happening in the country, which is people can't afford to feed their fucking kids. The second anyone brings that up, oh, well, he said he wanted to seize the means of production one time, they should be shut down. They should be laughed out of the fucking room. But no, instead you have outdated Democrats like Bakari Sellers arguing with him.